Vicky here, and I am just heading into town, and I've found once again that I've got some time to make a little bit of a video and say hi to everyone. I want to apologize if any of you have felt offended if I haven't watched videos that you've made and you're wondering what's going on. I just haven't found that I'm in the computer room very often. It's with winter coming and as over the summer, I'd just rather be outside than in if I can, so I'm trying to take advantage of every last little bit of good days before the winter sets in and we're all snowbound up here in the little town where I live. So my apologies if you guys have been wondering why I haven't commented if you've made videos and I haven't had a chance to watch yet. It's certainly not personal. I just have not myself been at the computer watching everyone's videos. So try and keep up, but sometimes these things happen, you know. So a lot going on here, but you know, I find myself not really wanting to go into a lot of it because as a couple of other people have expressed recently, it's not always happy, joy, right? So some days I feel as though if I share some of what's going on, that I'll just be kind of, I don't know, like kind of a downer for everyone, but you know, for the most part, everything's really good. I'm just kind of doing my own thing, and it's not necessarily very exciting, though. So, you know, I live in a little town. I work from home. My responsibilities are all at home, and not a lot changes from one day to the next. But, you know, that's sort of how things go. I've been doing well with the way that I'm eating lately. I just have really come to terms with the fact that if I want to feel well, then I need to stick primarily to whole foods, or absolutely without a doubt I need to stick to whole foods. And hang on while we get through some traffic here. And it's and I really actually feel so much better when I'm only eating whole foods. That's the thing that's so strange, is that, you know, I have spent so many years addicted to those factory foods that occasionally I found, as I've talked about in my more recent videos, that I found myself slipping back into eating some of those for some of the responses that my body has to them. You know, there's a certain comfort in that, and they go to that pleasure part of the brain, and they do those kind of things, even though, of course, we know they're not good for us. So I just come to terms with the fact that as much as I would love to live by the Dorito diet, or I think that I would, it just doesn't actually make me feel as good as when I live by the banana diet. So that's sort of where I'm at. And what's so interesting I find too is that I have really come to terms with the fact that when I started out as a raw foodist, I just so grabbed onto that as like an identity. You know, this is who I'm going to be. This is who I want to be. And I'm sort of going through my midlife figuring out who I am stage actually in life. And so it was so tempting to do that and to sort of look at the way that I was eating as my identity. And that, as most of you guys have probably already all figured out by now, that's not the truth, right? Like, we are so much more than what we eat. And it's funny because when I think of other people and someone says, oh, I'm a vegetarian, or I'm a vegan, or I'm a raw foodist, or whatever they are, I don't think, oh, well, that's who that person is. I just think, oh, that's how they eat, you know. But somehow, I guess because it was such a life-changing thing for me when I started with the raw foods, it's like, ooh, this is who I am, this is who I want to be. And it's been great to now, this many months down the road, sort of realize, no, that's not who I am. I know who I am and what I value and everything, and I value a healthy lifestyle and stuff, but eating only raw foods is not who I am. So I'm just so new at all of this too that, you know, I'm having to do some of the learning that comes along with making a big lifestyle change. And you know, to anyone who's out there who's very overweight or obese and they're thinking, oh gosh, if I change the way that I eat, or if it'll somehow change who I am, I just want to tell you, it won't. I mean, it's just not. The only thing that it's going to change, I think, maybe, is the way that you perceive who you are around food. Like, I see now, for example, that for so many years I internalized my inability to stop my addiction to those factory foods. And I imagined that was a result of my own weakness, instead of putting a lot of the responsibility for those behaviors where they should have been put, which is in the hands of the foods themselves. You know, I've talked to so many people, even some of you guys here on YouTube, in private conversations about the fact that those factory foods are so often addictive because they cause the release of hormones and other chemicals that cause us to say, okay, go for more. And then even just in terms of our blood sugar rebounding and coming back and getting low again, and us wanting to go and eat more, like, there's a whole cycle that breaks when you get away from eating those factory foods and the packaged foods and the really high fat, highly processed foods. You know, if someone's out there eating Velveeta cheese, it's a good idea to stop, because it's doing things to your body that you don't even know. And I'll tell you, like I said, I had no idea that a lot of my behaviors were not necessarily, like, I can't say that I don't have psychological attachments to a lot of those comfort foods, but a lot of times I don't know what came first, the psychological need for those foods or those foods causing the need to have more of them. And so when you break that cycle and stop, that's what's so incredible. So right now in my journey, where I'm at is now having figured out a lot of that stuff out, totally being realistic with myself and realizing that, okay, you know what? I'm not perfect. I'm not a machine, as a friend of mine once said when I told her that I had slipped up a bit or had eaten some cooked food and everything. She goes, Vicky, I'm so glad that you were honest with me about it, because otherwise I was going to think you were a total machine. And I assure you, I am no machine. I just was feeling so sick when I started the raw food thing that the change that instantly happened in me was so positive and so immediate that I would have sung it from the stars if I could have gotten to them, so that everyone could hear. Getting onto the raw and natural foods and away from the factory foods is going to change your life and feel so good. You're still going, you know, I still find that I have to struggle with those addictions to those factory foods, but I'm not addicted to whole foods, I can assure you of that. And that's a beautiful thing to know, that it's not some defect in me, but that in fact a big part of the problem in my life has been the food itself. So I'm coming to terms with all of that and figuring out who I am. And I hope you guys are all doing great. I'm not going to carry on much longer here, because I feel sometimes like I'm going blah, 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 and I hope I'm not boring you all senseless. But I just want you to know that I care so much about all of you who watch, and I thank you so much for your support. Really, it has been knowing that I'm not doing this all alone that has made it so much easier. It's a two-sided thing, because on the other hand, I feel sometimes if I have difficulty that I'm letting some of you guys down, but I'm confident that for the people who I feel the closest to and the people who really know me, you know that, and I know that we all struggle at times, and we're all human, and we can only just all do the best that we can. And you know, again, I'm sorry if I haven't been as supportive as I would like to be with each and every one of you. I just feel like I don't have time. Like, it feels as though the days are going by so quickly. It's just crazy. So life has gotten in the way, but at the same time, you guys are all awesome, and thank you so much for watching and tuning in and, you know, everything that you guys do. I care for you all very, very much, and I will talk to you all soon. Hope you're doing good. Bye.